Broadcasting live from Dar es Salaam, this is TBC News, our top stories. Independent Commission of Inquiry submits its final report.
The report now, but we really look forward to seeing which recommendations we can support the government and Tanzania.
Tanzania urges the East African Cooperation deeper ties to overcome looming climate threats. Good evening, I am Teddy Mparanyanga. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. The President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, says based on the Inquiry Commission findings of the October 2025 general election, unrest indicate that the violence witnessed during the polls was not spontaneous, but rather planned, coordinated and financed by individuals with specialized training and tools aimed at causing destruction. The president says the intention behind the violence was to disrupt the electoral process and create a leadership vacuum that could render the country ungovernable. Dr. Samia made the remarks in Dar es Salaam after receiving the Commission's report from its chairperson, retired Chief Justice Mohamed Chande Othman, emphasizing that Tanzanians are the architects of their own nation and that once it's destroyed, no external force will rebuild it. Caroline Maleo attended the heading over and has prepared the following report.
Today is the day that have been waited for by most people within and out of the country, as the Commission of Inquiry that was appointed by President Samia Suluhu Hassan to check into the incident of the October 29th general election, and after the general election is actually presenting the report to President Samia Suluhu Hassan here in Dar es Salaam. An event that has brought a number of people, including government leaders, religious leaders, and people from across diverse fields to hear the report.
After more than 150 days of intensive work, the 9-member commission, comprising of experts from diverse professional backgrounds, has today presented its findings, marking a significant step in uncovering the truth behind the October 2025 election-related unrest. The commission gathered views and evidence from over 63,000 citizens from across 11 regions, 21 districts, and 202 localities, including Dar es Salaam, Mbeya, Songwe, Mwanza, Ruvuma, Arusha, and Geita regions. Presenting the report, the chairperson of the commission, Judge Othman Chande, began by outlining the underlying motive behind the violence that erupted during the general election.
Ghasia za wakati na baada ya uchaguzi mkuu.
The violence during and after the general election stems from a range of long-standing challenges within a society that have remained unsolved over time. First, there are political issues including demands for a new constitution, concerns about the functioning of multi-party democracy, and calls for the improvement to the Independent Electoral Commission and the overall electoral system. Second, there are socio-economic challenges such as the high cost of living, unemployment, and the burden of numerous taxes and levies. Third, there is a decline in moral values, a weakening sense of patriotism, and the failure of adequately address persistent society concerns, including corruption.
The Inquiry Commission chairman further reveals that the commission documented extensive destruction of properties valued at over 125 billion Tanzanian shillings, alongside significant human suffering and long-term social impacts on affected communities.
Waliokuwa wakizunguka katika maeneo mbalimbali kama vile mitaani.
They were reportedly moving across various locations, including streets, universities, market and bus terminals, mobilizing and recruiting individuals to take part in the chaos during and after the general election. It is further reported that between October 12 and October 28, 2025, these groups were assembled, trained, organized, and actively encouraged to become part of the coordinated acts of violence during the election period.
The Commission has also called on government to facilitate both physical and psychological treatment for victims, underscoring the need for national healing and recovery. Among its key recommendations, the Commission proposes a series of measures aimed at strengthening national security, safeguarding democratic processes, and preventing future incidents of electoral violence.
Nne ni maoni ya tume.
The Commission is of the view that it is essential for the new constitution to be in place by the 2028 so that it can be used in the upcoming local government elections and the 2030 general election. To achieve this goal, the government should, before 2029, establish a committee of constitutional experts tasked with reviewing the current constitution alongside the draft constitution produced by the Constitutional Review Commission.
Upon receiving the report, President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan began her address by honoring all those who were affected by the unrest during and after the 2025 general election.
Katika kuwakumbuka na kutoa.
As we remember and honor those who lost their lives, I ask that we stand for a moment of silence and pray that the Almighty grants eternal peace to their souls.
In her 38-minute address, President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan announces that the government will establish a criminal investigation panel to examine allegations and identifying those responsible for planning, coordinating and executing the election-related violence of October 29th, 2025.
Tutaunda kama nilivyosema chombo maalum cha upelelezi.
We will establish a special criminal investigation body to carry forward the work recommended by the Commission. This body will examine the issues identified and determine those responsible for planning, coordinating and financing the acts of violence, with a clear focus on ensuring that all perpetrators of these crimes are brought to justice.
The President further states that the government is taking key steps to investigate reports cases of abductions, support those still missing, and provide assistive devices, including prosthetics, to individuals who sustained life-altering injuries during and after the election period.
Serikali itaweka utaratibu wa kugharamia matibabu ya majeruhi.
The government will put in place a mechanism to cover medical treatment for those injured in the violence who still require care. It will also provide assistive devices, including prosthetics, for those who have suffered permanent disabilities.
She also urges Tanzanians to safeguard the country's long-standing peace, warning against external forces that may seek to destabilize the nation and undermine its unity.
Niwaombe sana. Tuendelee kuimarisha umoja na mshikamano wetu.
I urge all of us to continue strengthening our unity and solidarity so that we do not give room to those who seek to destabilize our nation.
Furthermore, President Dr. Samia commends citizens for maintaining calm despite hate and incitement on social media platforms that sought to fuel unrest during the election period.
Narudia kuwashukuru sana.
Once again, I sincerely thank the citizens for refraining from acts of violence despite the incitement, particularly on social media. I commend you for your calmness and for maintaining trust in your government.
Some participants at the event share their views, commending the Commission's work while calling for timely implementation of the recommendations.
We all have to digest the report. We're going to digest the report now, but we really look forward to seeing which recommendations we can support the government and Tanzanians to move on. Recommendations on accountability, reconciliation, broader political reforms needed. So we look forward to the work ahead.
It's a very saddening report to look at the number of people who have perished in that chaos. Of course, it was not a demonstration as per the Commission. And if you look at the reasons behind for people to go to the streets and end up dying, is something which could have been averted.
Yeah, I'm very grateful with the report. They did their best. At least they managed to mention even those things that people could think that it could not be possible for the Inquiry Commission to present some issues like number of days, what went on.
As the nation reflects on the findings of the Commission, attention now shifts to the implementation where accountability, justice and national unity will be critical in safeguarding Tanzania's democratic future. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Caroline Maleo, Tbcnews.
Earlier, we spoke to Colonel retired Joseph Kimbokalia, who is also a veteran politician, who starts by explaining whether the outcome of the Commission's findings matches expectations and what he thinks is the way forward.
Everybody has to acknowledge, it's true, that we built this nation from nothing, from scratch. It's a nation that was built by our people, you know, our fathers. And it's been a peaceful, united nation for 6 decades. And that did not come from outside. So, you know, all the social structures, all the governance structures, the economy, everything was built ourselves. We acknowledge that some people may have assisted us, and we're grateful for that. But this is our country. We've built it this way, with peace. What happened in October is not something that we can be proud of. It actually tarnishes the image of our country. But, you know, these things happen in elections. One only has to look back at the aftermath of the presidential election in the United States in 2020, where the sitting president did not accept his defeat, and he mobilized some people, and they did, I would say, shameful things for a nation like the U.S., who's been around for more than 200 years, and people have been looking, a lot of people look at America as a model, for democracy and good governance. But it happened, and they've sorted out, I believe, and they're sorting out, you know, that mess themselves. We'll do the same. We have the capacity to do the same. As I say, you know, this country went from nothing to a nation that's been stable for 60 years, surrounded by 8 neighbors who have suffered instability and problems, and this is where everybody took refuge to. So we not only we can, but we will rebuild and, you know, strengthen our unity as one country. And we have now, you know, looking forward to building as a new Tanzania towards Vision 2050. It's an arduous task, but we have the means, we have the people, we have the resources. What we need is resolve, commitment, and consistency in pursuing those goals. We cannot work in isolation. You know, we have to be aware of what's happening globally. We have to think globally, because things that happen, say, in Iran right now, are going to have impact on us. When we plan, we have to think regionally, because of our neighbors, and you know, we are interdependent, we are interlinked. But then the limit of where we can do what we want to do is within a country. So that's the way forward. Consistency, commitment, clarity on what we want to do and what we want to achieve.
Following the submission of the Inquiry Commission's report on the acts of violence during and after the October 29th, 2025 general election, some of the citizens have expressed their reactions on the report, insisting that the report brings a new perspective on how to consolidate unity and national solidarity starting from the family level. Speaking to Tbc News in Dar es Salaam, the residents insist now to be time to uphold the values of peace, tolerance and reconciliation, while supporting the government in implementing the Commission's recommendations to strengthen national cohesion and prevent future unrest.
As parents, we need to warn our children and teach them what is right and what is wrong.
Our fellow citizens may have acted because of political matters and caused chaos, but we should remain calm. Justice is not sought through war, but through reconciliation.
Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan has been blessed by God with the gift of leadership. She did not want to shout or argue with the people on social media. Instead, she formed the commissions which today has given us results. With the release of this report, every Tanzanian will reflect on where they came from, where they are now, and where they are going. Because where they came from had peace, where they are going should they also have peace, and where they are now should remain peaceful. Therefore, it is important that we protect our peace.
The United Republic of Tanzania urges the East African Cooperation member states to further strengthen regional cooperation on environmental protection and natural resource management, emphasizing the importance of concerted efforts in addressing the ongoing challenges affecting the sectors. Here are more details.
The call was made by the Minister for Natural Resources and Tourism, Dr. Ashatu Kijaji, during the opening of the 11th East African Sector Council of Ministers of Environment and Natural Resources Management meeting held today earlier in Arusha, aimed at reviewing the progress of the implementation of the decision of the 10th meeting of the Council. Speaking during the meeting, Dr. Kijaji insists, despite the East African region being rich in resources such as forest, wildlife, rivers, large lakes, and Indian Ocean, the resources are facing various challenges arising from climate change. Furthermore, Kijaji has identified various key areas that require cooperation, including harmonization of policies, laws, and strategies for environmental management, increasing access to climate finance, combating environmental degradation, and providing public education. Other agendas discussed during the meeting, which began at the level of experts and permanent secretaries, include climate change, water and ecosystems, blue economy, and ocean pollution control, and international agreement which involve participation of the East African community.
United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF, in partnership with the Foundation for Civil Society FCS, has launched a new initiative to strengthen the capacity of youth and women-led civil society organizations in Tanzania to address gender-based violence affecting children and adolescents. The program will support 30 organizations across the country, equipping them with practical skills and strategies to help young people aged 10 to 19 to confront challenges such as teenage pregnancy and child marriage. Here are more details.
Speaking during the launch of the UNICEF Head of Child Protection, Miranda Armstrong said the initiative will focus on building institutional capacity by helping organizations identify gaps in the project, set clear priorities, and improve financial management, leadership, governance, and child protection system.
I think there's global funding cuts for development, and particularly in the gender equality and violence against women and children space. Sadly, this is where we've seen a lot of cuts. So I think it's the moment to really encourage local intervention, which can be smaller scale. It doesn't have to cost millions of dollars, but can really have an impact on girls and boys and women. Why Dar es Salaam, why Songwe, why Zanzibar? It's a good question. We would love to work in all the 26 regions of mainland, and for some programs we do. Sometimes we have to focus and prioritize areas. The data showed us that Songwe has some of the highest rates of teenage pregnancy in Tanzania. In Dar es Salaam, it's an urban and growing urban metropolis with lots and lots of young people. And Zanzibar also has its own dynamic. So it's trying to have three different dynamics where we can fund different types of local organizations.
Meanwhile, Community Development Officer from Dar es Salaam, Given Shore, says initiative aligns with the national priority aimed at promoting inclusive development and empowering citizens, particularly young people.
We believe that non-governmental organizations here, if successful, will go on to support the government in implementing all the goals outlined in the National Development Vision 2050. We also believe that non-governmental organizations are the government's second arm in carrying out its responsibilities on a broader scale.
The tools, the training and funding are means, not ends. The end is a Tanzania where every child grows up safe, educated, healthy, and full of possibility. That is the North Star that must guide everything that we do together in the next coming months. FCS is with you every step of this journey. Our doors, our phones, and our hearts are open.
We advocate more for the deaf community. So this session is going to empower us, giving us skills on project management, how to write concept notes, how to source funding, which we're going to be using, of course, to go directly to help this vulnerable community. Deaf community is one that is left so much behind. They don't have access to information that is in sign language. So as Ella Foundation, us being given this capacity building will help us fully to be able to cater for this community. Adolescents, pregnancy, especially for the deaf community, they don't get access to this information. No one comes to teach them in sign language the challenges that are there, how to even report this. Because when you go to this, let's say, institutions where you've been violated in terms of maybe gender violence, how to report that, it becomes an issue. You have to bring someone with you. So if that is not accessible to you, then that means justice for you is not done.
As part of the program, 15 of the 30 organizations will receive grant up to 25 million Tanzanian shilling from UNICEF to implement community-based project focused on reducing violence. The project will be carried out in Dar es Salaam, Songwe, and Zanzibar.
The Tanzanian government, in partnership with the UK government through the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, in partnership with the British High Commission, have established social welfare service desks in key transport hubs in Arusha. Let's get more details.
The desk aims to protect children and vulnerable groups at the grassroots levels by strengthening safeguarding standards at the transit point, such as bus terminals. Speaking in Arusha immediately after the British Deputy High Commissioner in Tanzania, Sally Hadley, launched the center to be managed by social welfare officers, the Railway Children Tanzania Director, Mary Gatama, said that the results have been already begun to be seen. The UK Deputy High Commissioner in Tanzania, Sally Hadley, says the desk has been established in 14 regions and at 13 bus stations in the country as part of supporting the government's efforts to strengthen the protection and safety of the children.
This social welfare desk that we are celebrating the launch of today is a very practical response to that reality. It exists so that children who feel unsafe, who are separated from their families, or who need help have a trusted place to turn, because it brings together all the right people.
The representative of the Arusha Regional Administrative Secretary, who is the Arusha Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Prosper Mushi, urges the system maintenance so that it can bring immediate results.
So for us, Arusha region, the initiation of this desk is not only it's not just an event, but it marks the end to the inconveniences that have been experienced by the victims.
Arusha Welfare Officer Martha George says the desk are designed to identify and support vulnerable children, including those who are lost, stranded, or escaping abuse before they end up living on the street.
These are also areas with many challenges where you may encounter children who are either traveling alone or have been separated from their parents, something that could expose them to various forms of hardship.
Amani, we are operating in Moshi, Arusha, and Singida. So it's only in Arusha that we have this desk. So we're thinking, like, even we have been speaking with Dionys, is there any possibility of extending this desk to other regions, like where, of course, where we are in Moshi and Singida.
The desk facilitates early identification, safe referrals, and coordination among social welfare officers, police, gender desk, and community actors to prevent violence and support travelers.
And before we wind up the local news for tonight, let's now take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania BOT. And in sports news, Arterial Network Tanzania President Adrian Nyangamale urges artists from various fields to take advantage of those various opportunities that will be brought by the country co-hosting the AFCON 2027. Speaking during the signing of an agreement with Peacock Hotel in Dar es Salaam, Nyangamale says that the AFCON 2027, Miss World 2027 and international conferences that will be held in Tanzania should benefit the local artists.
My message is for Tanzanians and the cultural stakeholder to be ready. Arterial Network is here to connect those who are ready to be connected. There are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of market access. So with the Arterial, you're not far. With Arterial, you're very close with the opportunity. So I urge you all the artists and the artist stakeholders to be aware and to be attached with the Arterial Network, because this is the boat to sell it to the art success in the world.
The AFCON 2027, Miss World 2027 and international conferences that will be held in Tanzania are expected to bring visitors from all over the world and thus provide opportunities for locals to benefit economically from various opportunities such as food, accommodation and transport. And in other sports news, the Director of the Arts Development Department of the Ministry of Information, Culture, Arts and Sports, Dr. Emmanuel Ishengoma, says government will continue to create a conducive environment in collaboration with stakeholders to ensure that artists receive their benefits according to the work they do throughout royalties. Dr. Ishengoma believes that this is the time for artists to get what they deserve according to their work, while COSOTA Chief Executive Officer Naomi Mungure says her institution has made arrangements to ensure artists benefit from their work.
Stakeholders are in different groups. I should start with the creators themselves, the musicians, to create music that is appealing, that everybody will feel comfortable and proud to use them. I would encourage those who use the music to see this payment of royalties as part of the expenses of their businesses. I mean, in their businesses, they pay bills for electricity, for water, for everything else.
The Corporate and Neighboring Act, you have to request for the permission from the owner of the work or author of the work, or you have to get the license from the recognized institutions. So for Tanzania, we have SOMA for the music, and we have companies for the other categories. But COSOTA, as a regulator, we see this happening, and it's a good relationship between users and artists, and everyone will benefit from the artistic works and the business as well.
And that marks the end of our sports news. And now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather update for the next 24 hours.
Welcome for the next 24 hours weather focus from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. For tonight, we expect future particular conditions, thunder shower over a few areas over the entire coast, including Morogoro region. The rest part of our country expect future particular condition. Wind flow patterns, average wind speed expected to proceed over the most part of our country, and scarcity of rainfall signal are over the most part of our country. For tomorrow, we expect future particular condition, rain shower over a few areas in sun period over northern Eastern Highland together through Ruvuma region. Southern Western Highland expect future particular condition, light rain shower over a few areas in sun periods. Tabora, Singida, and Dodoma expect future particular condition and long sun period. The rest part of our country expect future particular condition, thunder shower over a few areas and sun periods. Let's have a look for the 4 days weather focus for some part of our country, starting from the day after tomorrow. Dar es Salaam expect future rain shower, thunder shower together with light rain shower. Dodoma expect future light rain shower over a few areas and sun period. Mbeya expect future light rain shower over a few areas and sun periods. Mwanza expect future particular condition, thunder shower over a few areas and sun period. Kilimanjaro expect future rain shower and thunder shower over a few areas. Morogoro expect future rain shower, thunder shower together with light rain shower. Arusha expect future rain shower, thunder shower over a few areas and sun periods. Dear viewer, we thank you for watching us and have a good time.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Teddy Mfranyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.
TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.